Hey everybody, what is going on? HexLex here. Got another Master Duel video for you. I know, it's more Orcust Snake Eye, but there's been an update to the list. And I have a couple of commenters to thank, and for once I actually had the foresight to find their names before I started recording the video. Lotus42840 and... oh wait, hang on. Who was the other person? It was... Here we go. Nasserel Nema 9008. On, I think, two different videos, actually, they suggested adding Formud Skipper to Orcust Snake Eye. And it's a very, very clever addition. This is actually a card that we've deck built around in the past. So I'm definitely glad to be doing it again. I love this little guy. And it's kind of a custom card for exactly Orcust Snake Eye, if you think about it. So the idea here is that we're using Formud Skipper's first effect to reveal one of our Nightmare Link monsters from our extra deck. That'll give Formud Skipper that monster's name. More importantly, it'll have Nightmare in the name. Meaning that we can then link it off into the Nightmare Mermaid. So not only is Formud Skipper one card Nightmare Mermaid, you don't even need two different monsters, it's just the one, but also the second effect here, which says if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can add one level 5 or higher Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand. That'll of course let you grab the Parallel Exceed, which becomes level 4, and then special summons another copy, which is also level 4. And you know what rank 4 can really help out the Snake Eye engine? That's right, Infernal Flame Banshee. Will let you detach a material in order to take a Pyro monster and either add it from your deck to your hand or send it from your deck to the graveyard. Naturally, we're going to be wanting to use this in order to add Poplar and then going into Snake Eye plays. So yeah, the Formud Skipper was an excellent suggestion and is kind of a custom card for this deck. Now, despite playing a total of 13 games in Master Rank, going 10-3, by the way, I actually did not get a replay where we did the Formud Skipper line because it just did not show up in my opening hands. But what we're going to do is I'll show you the combo line with Formud Skipper in solo mode, and then we'll take a look at the games that I actually did play out in Master. So... I really wanted to get a replay for it, but it's like, I gotta work on other videos and, you know, have a life. So, I didn't want to be sitting here literally all day just trying to get the Formud Skipper line in an actual game. But, it's excellent. Funnily enough, I actually considered adding the Psymap minings, not only just to, you know, search the Formud Skipper more reliably to show it for the video, but, like, the Formud Skipper line is actually not bad. I mean, it's not really any different than what a regular, you know, Orcust Snake Eye board can do, but it is a one-card combo, so having more ways to search it might not necessarily be bad. You can also one-for-one for the Formud Skipper as well, and honestly, in terms of the end board, there is really no difference if you one-for-one for Formud Skipper or for Snake Eye Ash. Now, granted, if you start with Formud Skipper, you do have to sequence it a little bit differently, but they do result in pretty much exactly the same end board. So, that's pretty cool. It just leaves you with more options for a deck like this. Is very, very nice. And it almost makes me wonder, because, like, you don't necessarily have to be doing the whole Orcust thing in order for this to be good in Snake Eye, right? Like, you could just go into, like, Link Rebo and then get Parallel Exceed Banshee for Poplar, right? Or, I mean, any number. You go for Linger Rebo, even because it's a Cyberse monster, or you could try to get fancy with other stuff that maybe doesn't require main deck engine. So, I think beyond just this deck, this is actually not a bad Snake Eye card. Yeah, I love this little guy. Formud Skipper is such a cool card. This is like card design that I absolutely adore. Just screams to be built around and can be done in so many different ways. Yeah, I think Formud Skipper is easy for me, 10 out of 10 card design. Other than the whole Formud Skipper and Parallel Exceed thing, there's not too much going on. Oh, I guess this is technically a post-banless deck because I'm only playing 2 Max C here. I was like, yeah, I mean, why not? Also wanting to keep the deck size down. That's the other thing about adding Psymap mining where I was a little bit conflicted. So, I mean, to be fair, sign-up mining would be more consistency, so even though we're adding more cards to the deck, it would balance out in that regard. It's weird because Snake Eye is a deck that really, really wants to be 40 cards when played in this kind of a style, right? Of course, you can use Snake Eye as an engine in like a 60-card deck, but in a deck like this, which this is much more of a Snake Eye deck than an Orcust deck. We're not, as you can see, we don't play Lungirsu, we don't play the Field Spell. You can certainly play those and stuff like World Wand, and I don't think that's bad. I just have it built that we are primarily a pure Snake Eye deck that also has an Orcust engine, and then also has a Formud Skipper engine. But, yeah, yeah, I totally lost my train of thought there. Sorry about that. I guess long story short, we have so many ways to go into our line here that, like, I don't think our line is necessarily better than, like, Fire King Snake Eye, but it doesn't feel that much less consistent, I'll say. Oh, and I was talking about deck size, right. Yeah, Snake Eye in this kind of a form definitely wants to be at 40 cards or as close to 40 as possible. But this is also a deck where we're definitely playing a bunch of cards we don't want to open. Parallel Exceed is very searchable. We don't mind opening this card, though, of course. Orcust Nightmare. I'm on 2 copies. Shout out again to... Now, this commenter, of course, I forgot to go find in my lack of foresight. But shout out to the people who suggested it in case you open it. It's a good suggestion, for sure, to play a second one of these, definitely. But, yeah, I mean... That's pretty much the main addition, again, is the Formud Skipper. And, of course, I'll show off that combo line. Let's just break this deck down card by card, and then we'll get into that. So, we're on 1 Effect Veiler, 3 Formud Skipper, 1 Snake Eye Ash, 1 Snake Eye Oak, 1 Snake Eyes Poplar, 2 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 Orcust Symbol Skeleton, 1 Orcust Harp Horror, 2 Girsu the Orcust Mech Knight, 3 Molcharmy Fuelos, 2 Orcust Nightmare, 3 Diabellstar the Black Witch, 2 Parallel Exceed, 1 Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon, 1 Snake Eyes Diabellstar, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, excuse me, 1 for 1 Triple Tactics Talent, 2 Bonfire, 1 Original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye, 1 Divine Temple of the Snake Eye, 2 Call by the Grave, 1 Crossout Designator, 1 Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils, 2 Infinite Impermanence, and then 1 Orcust Crescendo. Or Crescendo. I think it is actually pronounced Crescendo, right? Yeah. And so that's going to be it for our 42-card main deck. For the extra deck, we're on 1 Infernal Flame Banshee, 1 Dingirsu, the Orcust of the Evening Star, 1 Linkuriboh, 1 Nightmare Mermaid, 1 Nightmare Goblin, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Galatea, the Orcust Automaton, 1 Hita, the Fire Charmer Ablaze, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 SP Little Knight, 1 Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames, 1 Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, 1 World Sea Dragon Zealantis, 1 Salaman Great Raging Phoenix, and finally 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. There's our list. Let's check out these duels now. But the combo first. Okay, so here we have an opening hand with the Formud Skipper. So I'll just go ahead and show it off with this hand. We do have a couple of cards that we're going to end up searching as part of our combo line anyway. I'll point these out as they come up. Going to lead by normal summoning Formud Skipper, and then activating the effect. The Link monster we want to reveal is either going to be Nightmare Goblin or Phoenix. Don't reveal Mermaid because the material requirement is 1 Nightmare monster except Nightmare Mermaid. So we'll just go ahead and reveal Goblin. And then from there we can click on our extra deck, and Nightmare Mermaid is now an option. I should have shown that, but if you had clicked on it before, only Linkuriboh would have shown up. Alright, we got the Nightmare Mermaid, and we're going to activate both effects here. Now, I won't actually, in this example, be activating this because we already have the search target Parallel Exceed. But normally, you would definitely activate both effects here. As far as which order to activate them in, I would probably do Chainlink 1 Nightmare Mermaid, and we'll just go ahead and pitch, like, Ash Blossom, doesn't really matter. And then I would do Chainlink 2 Formud Skipper, because if your opponent has Ash Blossom, and they negate the Mermaid, if you did it the other way around, they would negate Nightmare Mermaid, you wouldn't have a second monster. Yeah, you would add Parallel Exceed, but you wouldn't be able to Link Summon. So you definitely would want to do it this way. Alright, so we're going to use the Nightmare Mermaid effect in order to summon the Orcust Nightmare, and then now you also have Parallel Exceed in your hand from the Formud Skipper search. So We're going to link these two into Galatea. Special Summoner over here. And then now we can activate our Parallel Exceed effect, special summoning it to Galatea's zone. And then we'll activate the on-field effect to summon from hand. Now here's a very important note about comboing with this line and with this deck in general. Orcust Nightmare, if we activate this, says we cannot special summon except dark monsters. That is true of every Orcust graveyard effect. So you gotta do all of your Snake Eyes combo line before you summon any of your Orcust cards, or rather, before you use any of the effects of the Orcust monsters in your graveyard. So, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna ignore this Galatea for a little moment. For a little while, actually, not for just one moment. And then we'll go for the Infernal Flame Banshee. We're gonna activate her effect, detaching one of the Exceeds, and we're going to select Poplar, add to hand yes. And this will, of course, trigger the Poplar's effect. We'll special summon and activate. And we're going to want to grab, of course, Original Sinful Spoils, Snake Eye. Now, from here, let's establish the Link Karibo by linking off the Poplar. And then, of course, we'll activate Poplar's effect. And we'll put it in the Spell Trap zone. Alright, now we're going to activate Original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. We'll send the Poplar that's in our Spell Trap, and we're going to go straight for Oak. Don't bother with Ash here, because we've already used our normal summon, so even if we, summoned Ash and searched Oak, we could not then summon it. So we're just going to special summon Oak and ignore Ash. Oak effects we will, of course, activate. Targeting the Poplar. Yes, we will special summon. We're going to want to use our Oak's effect, and we're going to want to use it with Link Karibo. Because the thing about this combo line is that you're only going to have this one Link zone for pretty much the whole line. Because Galatea just kind of needs to chill until it's her time to shine. So let's open up that zone by sending the Link Karibo, and then we're going to special summon our Flamberge. And the reason that we get rid of Link Karibo is so that we can now link our Poplar and Flamberge into IP. IP needs non-Link monsters for its material, so that's why we got rid of Link Karibo. Now, Flamberge's effect will activate. We'll summon Oak and Poplar. Alright, and then now, let me turn this to auto so we don't constantly be getting asked about Link Karibo. Now we're going to go into Promethean Princess. We're going to use IP as two materials, and really any one of these main deck monsters. I'll probably just end up leaving Banshee alone for the most part, and getting these back in our graveyard. Alright, there's Prom Princess, and then of course we're going to use her to summon out Flamberge. And then we're going to activate Flamberge for IP Masquerena. Naturally, we'll put her in the Spell Trap zone. Now from here, we go for the Raging Phoenix, just to not Firelock us anymore, and we'll use the Oak for that. Alright, so that's pretty much all the Snake Eye stuff, all the fire summoning we really need to do. Now we can finally activate Orcust Nightmare's effect and do the other part of that combo line. We're going to send Harpor. And we will activate Harpor in order to special summon Girsu. Let's activate our Girsu's effect, and we can send the Symbol Skeleton from deck to the graveyard. Now from here, we will activate the Galatea effect. I like to put back Harpor to set up for future turns. And of course, if we didn't already have Orcust Crescendo in hand, this is where you would search it. Alright, now we're going to want to make SP. I'll use Galatea and Girsu to do that. We don't need to activate because our opponent doesn't have anything in the graveyard. If they use some kind of a hand trap and you wanted to banish it though, you could do that. And then finally we're going to activate our Symbol Skeleton and resummon Galatea. Set your Orcust Crescendo, and there you go. So normally, if you didn't open your search targets, you would still have two other cards in your hand as well. We just got a little unlucky in opening search targets, but again, we established this entire board off of just the Formud Skipper. It's the pretty standard Snake Eye Orcust board that we've made in previous videos, and we even get to keep around an Infernal Flame Banshee. That could be potentially used with like IP to go into Appaloosa or into an Underworld Goddess or something of that nature during your opponent's turn. Making a format Appo or that Underworld Goddess a lot easier. So, of course, this also gets you the Counter Trap Omni Negate, as well as an SP Little Knight setup on top of your Snake Eye. So, that's pretty cool. Alright, now that I've shown you the line that we're not going to see in any of the games because I never opened Formud Skipper, I'll show you some less standard ways, I guess so to speak, of comboing and some just back and forth gameplay. Let's start off with a going second game against Melodious. I actually have a lot of replays saved this time around because I had a lot of pretty quality games. I'll probably end up throwing some of these other games that don't make it on the channel up on the Patreon. Patreon.com/Hexlux if you're interested in checking out those and other daily exclusive videos. Anyway, opponent's going to start with the first movement solo. And I, of course, cannot help but use the double Fuelos. There was an argument to Ash Blossom first, but I don't know. It's like, I have the double Fuelos, let's just go for it and see what happens. Plus, I kind of want to save the Ash Blossom for the other spell card if they have it. Or maybe the Baka, potentially the fusion monster. I probably should have just Ash Blossomed this, though. I think that was a misplay on my part. The refrain when this got summoned, I think I should have ashed that, yeah. Summoning Arya, they're then going to pen to scale before activating the fusion spell, fusing refrain and couplet for Baka. Now, unfortunately, although I did plan to Ash Blossom this Baka, they are going to end up chain blocking with the pen to scale effects, which I should have realized would have happened. I don't have that much experience playing against Melodious, because I think mostly because I play at lower ranks, and Melodious isn't a super popular deck, but it does have a pretty good win rate. So a lot of the better players you'll see playing it will be in like rating duels and stuff. So our opponent's inboard doesn't look like much at a glance, but it's a little problematic. Mostly, well, as in it's a little bit of a problem for us to deal with. Not in like a cultural sense is it problematic. Anyway, Arya says that their Melodious monsters cannot be targeted by card effects or destroyed by battle. Both of these Aryas were special summoned, by the way. Elegy says that their special summoned Melodious monsters can't be destroyed by card effects either. So, can't be destroyed by battle, can't be destroyed by card effects, and can't be targeted by card effects. So, the main thing I'm thinking here is Zealantis OTK is probably what I'm going to need to do. I'll throw out a Fuelos just in case they end up special summoning. I don't think they will, but with a hand of this size, it doesn't really matter. Going for Diabell Star first, hoping to bait out the face down card, which we actually end up doing. It's the Forbidden Droplet. Yeah, so that'll negate Diabell. I'm going to go for Bonfire next. I'm pretty sure our opponent's just out of interaction at this point. But again, they do still have a bunch of protection on their board. Oh, you know what? I actually remember how I end up breaking this board. Because we do have a way to stop all these effects without destroying or targeting any of them. And the Parallel Exceed here is going to help with that. Yeah, I guess I could have gone for Formud Skipper here, but I also already opened the Parallel Exceed and a bunch of other stuff. Well, I actually don't even end up using my normal summon, I don't think, here. But yeah, as you can see, I'm going to end up going for the Underworld Goddess. I probably should have linked using Baka, but it doesn't really matter. And this will negate the Arya, and even if Elegy was still in play, it would have negated her as well. So that's an easy way for us to turn off all of the Melodious protection. From here, I'm going to keep doing Snake Eye stuff with the OSS I added earlier. Setting up the Snake Eye Diabell Star, which I actually also don't think I end up... Oh no, I do end up using it, never mind. Now we're going to use Flamberge to push back the Baka. Now we can link off with the Poplar. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm not saying Baka is in, like, you know, like... idiot in Japanese. I mean, like, as in the composer, Bach. I don't know why I'm so, like, wigged out about pronunciation in this video. It's not like I even got comments about it recently or anything, but it's on my mind, I suppose. Anyway, here's Prom Princess F, bringing back the Flamberge for some more attack points. And then we link off into the Raging Phoenix. Alright, now from here, we're going to summon out the Snake Eye Diabell Star. And, oh, I don't even need Zealantis. Right, because, yeah, the Snake Eye Diabell Star is enough right there. And there it is. So, yeah, the double Fuelos definitely helped. When going second. Cannot deny that. Definitely cannot deny that. But, I still think it was a pretty solid game. Otherwise, we still had to board break our opponent a little bit with the Melodious Protection effects. Of course, we still have a couple more games to check out. Let's go into the next one. Next opponent is going to be on White Forest. And this is a good one. This will be a pretty nice back and forth game. I remember this one. Alright, we're going to be taking the first turn. And no Formud Skipper, but Snake Eye Ash and Parallel Exceed and Wanted is, like, definitely more than fine. Until you get the Max Seed. Yeah, that's really annoying. But what I'm going to do here is just go for Ash for Oak and then just pass. There's a few reasons I'm doing this play in particular, right? One, I do already have a couple of hand traps, so I don't feel the need to play into my opponent's Max Seed to try to establish a bit of a board. I already have Disruption. Two, if they go in battle over my Snake Eye Ash, then I can just normal summon Oak and bring it back, and then continue to combo on my follow-up turn. Of course, again, we also have Diabell and Parallel Exceed to help with that, but never hurts to have a little bit more. Alright, they're going to go with Toy Box here, activating the effect to set naturally the Toy Soldier as well as the Toy Tank. And then just setting 2 more cards before passing. So that tells me that they don't have plays. They need to top deck something in order to have plays. I'm going to start off by linking into the Link Kuriboh. That way I can normal summon the Snake Eye Oak and then get Ash back, is what I was thinking after I activate Parallel Exceed. But our opponent here is going to end up having another Max C. So we already gave them 1 draw. I'm willing to give them 1 more for SP Little Knight. Not only is this interaction during the opponent's turn, but also I can banish the Toy Box, which, you know, will definitely set up plays for them on their turn. So I know I just said that, you know, I'm not summoning under Maxi to not give them draws so they don't have plays. You might be wondering then, well, then why did you go out of your way to go for Little Knight? And that's why, because even if I didn't go for Little Knight, they would have guaranteed plays anyway. So I might as well Little Knight try to take away those guaranteed plays and also have a disruption on their turn. Now, unfortunately, as you can see here, they had an Imperm, so that kind of didn't matter. But I kind of figured something like that might happen, and it's just a bit of a dice roll you gotta take, right? We do still have Valor and Nib, as well as the Little Knight going into our opponent's turn here, so I'm not feeling completely hopeless or anything. Looks like they did find gas in the form of LZ, sending the Toy Soldier to add a Stellar. Now they can use the Toy Soldier effect to summon, and then activate in order to add. I'm not going to Valor this search. I'm saving my Valor to maybe be coupled with the Nibiru, in case they end up summoning like a Baron or something. But when they go for Rakila, this is when I'll use SP Little Knight, because I know they need these level 6 tuners exactly for the graveyard effects of stuff like Rukia and Sylvie. So I don't mind at all that they banish, or that they put back their monster to dodge the banish. That's definitely fine with me. Okay, Toy Tank is summoned. Triple Attack, I was really scared of the hand rep taking Nib, but they actually take control of Little Knight instead. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. I don't care about that as much. It's a little annoying, but probably gonna end up having to use the Valor on the Little Knight. They're gonna go for Diabell, use the Toy Box to set Soldier from deck and graveyard. Normal summon a Stellar, and this is when I Nibiru. So I was holding my Nib because I knew they still had their normal summon, and I knew they still had the Stellar. I could have waited until they activated Stellar's effect and summoned a Sylvie, but I didn't want them to have that extra search because I didn't want them to have the trap card Woes. So we're going to Nib now. They're going to try to use Little Knight to protect their Diabell. I'm going to Valor that. Yeah, I know that if I let that go, I would get my Little Knight back, but I would rather just nuke the board. I don't care about having my Little Knight back. I have follow-up plays. I don't need it that badly. And their Diabell would represent, you know, some stuff that I'd have to play through on their turn. Alright, they have no more follow-up, thankfully. We top deck OSS, which is... that's fine. I guess we have Diabell start anyway, but... gonna go Oak for Ash. Rukia effect is activating here, putting back the Diabell to summon herself. Gonna Ash for Poplar. LZ effect gets to activate here. We're, of course, going to special summon our Poplar. And it turns out they already had woes set. So, unfortunately, despite trying to play around them not having it, we are going to have to deal with the Silvera Wolf Tamer turning our whole field face down. Now, this looks really bad, right? Silvera's hitting 4 monsters and turning them all face down. It's like, oh my god, how are you going to combo? The OSS doesn't even help. Even if it could send a face down card, you don't have any targets left in your deck. That's actually going to end up being completely fine. You're about to see why. We're going to flip up the Nibiru, activate Divine Temple for Flamberge, send Oak to special summon the Diabell Star, right? Now we can use Link Kribo to send the face down Ash to summon itself. I'll link these two off in order to summon Nightmare Phoenix, because we need to get this toy box off the field before we end up doing any battling. Pitch our extra Diabell Star in order to do that. Now I'm going to link off the Nightmare Phoenix with the Nibiru in order to summon out our Promethean Princess. From here, Promethean Princess gets to bring back Oak. I can activate Oak's effect, sending it and my Flamberge I set up earlier for Snake Eyes Diabell Star. Now Flamberge summons Ash and Oak, and from there we're going to link off into Raging Phoenix, and now we're going to pivot into a Zealantis OTK. And you're seeing now why it did not matter at all that my whole board of 4 monsters got turned face down, which is pretty insane to be able to bounce back after that. Definitely summon their Silvera in face-down defense mode here, because Silvera, if you actually take a moment and read the text, is when she is special summoned, is when she activates, also is not once per turn at all. If I had summoned that Silvera in attack mode, she would have activated again, turned my board face down, I'm pretty sure I would not have been able to OTK, so we're definitely going to summon her in face-down defense mode for sure. We get back all of our other stuff. We can use Princess to pop. And then, of course, we also get back the Raging Phoenix for just an absurd amount of damage, and our opponent's going to concede there. Whew. Not to toot my own horn too much, but toot, that was a pretty good game. I remember thinking in the moment, like, oh, the Silvera is so annoying, and then realizing, like, as the game was playing out, like, wait a second. I have Diabell Star, I have Link Kribo, I can Prom Princess, I can Zealantis, I can reset the board. None of that actually matters. It's so good. Alright, I do have one more game I want to show off. Let's finish off with that one. And our final opponent is going to be on Sword Soul Tenyi. Just a regular old Sword Soul Tenyi deck. It's been so long since I ran into one of these. So I had to show the game for not only that reason, but our opponent played very well. You'll see here. You'll see as the game plays out. But they're going to lead with Tenyi Spirit Ashina, linking off into, of course, the Monk. Tenyi also has a follow-up card, which is pretty good, that I'm pretty excited for. Using the Vessel of the Dragon Lord. As soon as they did this, I was like, okay, I recognize this. You're going to send the Arch Nemesis Protoss to try to banish it and add it back with Adhara. So I definitely wanted to Ash Blossom the Ashina here and try to keep them off of Adhara. Alright, that goes through. They're going to follow up with Sword Soul Emergence. I'm like, okay, it's a little annoying, but it's fine. Going for the Taya, normal summon Taya. This is how they banish the Protoss to add back later. Summoning the token. Here's where I nib. I did not want them to use the Taya as a synchro summon material, because if they did, they would get to send a Sword Soul or Worm monster from the deck to the graveyard, which could potentially be Adhara to potentially add back Protoss. And again, I want to try to keep them off that if possible. But they actually did have the Adhara in hand, and unfortunately were able to summon it because they have an on-effect monster, the Nibiru token. They're going to link into Monk and then activate the Adhara effect to grab Protoss, which I do now have to deal with, unfortunately. However, I do have the Poplar in hand, so that means that I am mostly cut off from all of my Orcust stuff, and Diabell Star is the big thing. But in the extra deck, it's only IP, SP, and Link Kribo, so I should still be able to make some amount of plays here. Alright, normal summon Poplar, and never mind, I can no longer make plays here. The Imperm is going to see to that. It's too bad that Dark got called, because man, Diabell said Harp Horror would go so hard here. Alright. Top deck Taya is pretty brutal for me. I do have the nib, but remember, they bounce this back to my hand. So they know it's in my hand, and they're definitely going to play around it by going for Chi Shao and simply, I think they add Blackout here, which is pretty bad for me. Now, one thing that might end up saving me this turn is the fact that I actually still have Poplar on the field. I think what my opponent's going to end up doing is using Protos to call fire, which is actually pretty good for me given what my hand looks like right now. Yep. Calling fire, we get to activate the Poplar effect. I actually maybe shouldn't have activated that because of the blackout. Ooh, I only just now thought about that. I think I should have not activated Poplar there. Although, I don't know, I do also just need to get this blackout addressed as soon as possible. Hey, look, it's Formud Skipper! Hey, look, there goes Formud Skipper! Alright. It's too bad, Formud Skipper would have gone so hard here. Anyway. We're going to send the Harpor for the Diabell Star. Diabell Star will set Wanted, because OSS doesn't do anything, because we're fire locked because of Protos. We can still Banish Harpor, normal summon Girsu. I expected they would probably end up using the Chi Shao here, which is really annoying, but I can still out most of this board. What I'm going to do is link the Girsu and the Diabell Star into Galatea. We'll activate Galatea and get the Crescendo out of our deck. And then now we can overlay, of course, our Dingirsu on top of Galatea. Unfortunately, because the Girsu got negated, I couldn't send Harp or Symbol Skeleton. So I don't really have a way of... I guess even if I did send Symbol Skeleton, the Galatea is still under Ding. So while Symbol Skeleton could have summoned Ding, I could have linked into another Galatea if I played that. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, unfortunately, my Counter Trap Omni is not live. And, again, they have knowledge of Nibiru, so they're going to play around that. Going for Bashia. Bouncing my board. Milling with the Taya. Also, chain blocking every time with the Taya correctly as well. And now swinging in for lethal. Yeah, like I said, I had to show that game. Our opponent played so well here. GG's. GG's now. Hopefully I pronounced your username correctly, if you're even watching. But that was very, very well played. And yeah, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. So thank you all so much for watching. But that'll do it for now. So let's move on to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free, and if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's, again, free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up, and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out. But more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.